All right, today we're going to dive into a classic fable that has a really powerful message about finding purpose where you'd least expect it. Let's get into the story of the broken pot. Wow, we're starting right at the emotional core of this story. I mean, who hasn't felt that way before, right? That deep shame of feeling like you're not perfect. This one sentence just hits you right away, and it's the perfect setup for where this story is going. Okay, so let's set the scene. You've got this water bearer in a small village, and his job every single day is to make this long walk from a stream back to his master's house. And he's carrying two big pots on a pole slung over his shoulders. Seems simple, right? A daily grind. But this simple task, it's everything in our story. So here's the deal with the two pots. One of them is, well, perfect, absolutely flawless. It never leaks a single drop, and you can almost feel its pride, you know? But then you have the other pot. This one has a big old crack down its side, and every single trip, it leaks out half of its water before they even get home. You can just imagine how ashamed it felt because of this. And you really have to try to imagine it from the cracked pot's perspective. For this pot, the daily walk was just pure torture. It was constantly being compared to perfection, and all it could see was how it was falling short. It wasn't just a physical crack anymore, you know? It became this huge emotional burden, a constant, nagging voice saying, "You're a failure." And get this wasn't just a bad week or a bad month. This went on for 2 years. 2. Just let that sink in for a second. That's day in, day out, for over 700 days, feeling completely inadequate, believing you're letting someone down. That's a heavy, heavy weight to carry. So after carrying that burden in silence for so long, something finally snapped. You can only hold that kind of feeling in for so long, right? The pot just couldn't do it anymore. And this is the turning point of the whole story. The moment all that pent-up feeling finally comes out. And that's when it finally says it, those words we started with. But you have to understand, this is so much more than just being sorry for leaking water. This apology is packed with 2 years of silent suffering. It's like the pot is apologizing for its very existence. But here's where everything flips on its head. The water bearer's reaction is not what you'd expect. He doesn't see a failure at all. He sees an opportunity. This is that moment, that pivot, where a simple shift in how you look at things is about to uncover a purpose that was right there the whole time. You know, what's brilliant is the water bearer doesn't argue or deny the flaw. Instead, he just asks this really gentle question. He's shifting the pot's focus from the water it loses to what it creates. He's just inviting it to see things from a new angle. And wow, does that show you the power of a little perspective shift. And then the water bearer lays it all out. His plan was so simple, so beautiful, really. He says, look, I knew about your crack the entire time. It was never a mistake that needed fixing. It was an opportunity. He intentionally planted flower seeds on that side of the path, knowing that the pot's flaw would water them every single day. That leak had a purpose from the very beginning. And you can just feel that moment. All that shame just melts away and turns into pure joy. The pot is silent again, but this time it's not a sad silence. It's a silence of awe, of just getting it. It finally sees its real worth. And the amazing part is, its worth isn't in spite of the crack, it's because of it. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second, because the whole point here is that this story isn't really about a pot, is it? It's about us. It's about all of us and the things we see as our flaws. It's about learning to look at our own imperfections and maybe, just maybe, finding a hidden purpose there. I mean, think about the word flaw. A dictionary will tell you it's a blemish, something that makes an object imperfect. But this story, it completely turns that idea on its head, right? It asks, what if a flaw isn't something that ruins an object, but something that gives it a totally unique and even beautiful purpose? So what are the big takeaways here? Well, first off, our so-called imperfections can have a purpose we just can't see yet. And second, the things we think are our biggest weaknesses, they can actually be our greatest strengths. It all comes down to perspective. That's the third lesson. Changing how you look at things can turn shame into beauty. And finally, and this is the big one, every single one of us has something unique to offer the world. And a lot of the time, it's because of our flaws, not in spite of them. The message at the end of the day is actually really simple, but it's so profound. Your worth has nothing to do with being perfect. All your little cracks, your quirks, the things you call your flaws, they're not liabilities. They are literally part of what makes you, you, what makes you uniquely valuable. And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. Think about this for a second. What if your greatest flaw is actually your greatest gift? Take a look at the things you consider your weaknesses, your imperfections, and just ask yourself, what if these aren't flaws at all? What if they're the very things that help you water the flowers on your own path?